Welcome back to the channel. Usually I try and do an intro at the start of a video with the tripod, but it's too windy today, so we're going to have to go point of view from the very start. But we are going to be talking today about the long wheelbase ID.Buzz in Ireland. It comes in 3 trims and it also comes only in a 7-seater. In some markets you get a 6-seater, so it's a 222, but we're getting a 232 configuration. Bigger battery, more power, more range. Let's have a look around the outside, the inside, and more importantly, take it out for a drive. And I also drove it down to Cork. So motorway drive, Dublin to Cork. I've got the efficiency figures and I'll give you those at the end of the video. Let's get straight into it. It is about 200 millimeters, about 8 inches longer than the standard wheelbase ID.Buzz. And with that extra 8 inches, you're getting... Now, I already originally thought that the standard ID.Buzz kind of had enough space for 7-seaters, but they've extended it out, given it a bigger battery. And yeah, this black, all it's missing is that red stripe. And for B.A. Baracus, Mr. T to pop out of it. Very cool looking. But you definitely know the difference in the length of it overall. It is definitely a large electric vehicle on the road. Weight 2,700 kg, so 2.7 tons. Starting off at the front, you have those IQ lights on this trim. We're at the mid trim today, so it's the rear-wheel drive style. Daytime running light that goes all the way around that headlight unit, but also goes across the front of the bonnet. Now the ID.Buzz, the Volkswagen logo on the front of it isn't, but these are LED. Not the Matrix. There's another upgrade that you can get on that super large Volkswagen badging. I'm going to pop open. Is it on the driver's side? Is it on the other side? I usually get this wrong, and as predicted, it's on the other side. The release for the tiny little access to replace the water inside that front bonnet. So it just pops down on a strap. You see that strap there. And this is where you replace, but otherwise there's no real stub nose on it. Obviously it's the one that's replacing the old Bully. And if you haven't seen that 1977 electric Bully video I've done on the channel recently, you've got some lattice work down here and the radar guided cruise control and the radiator and some aero down along the side here to help with the efficiency, because it is a large minivan. Drag coefficient of 0.29. Large windscreen, and it's got the wipers that go either side, and you have your unit down at the bottom here for light and also rain sensor, etc. So rather than up at the very top. This being the mid-level trim, you're also getting power doors, but we'll come to that in a minute. The entry-level trim on the long wheelbase has 19-inch wheels. These are 20-inch, and then there's a GTX 4Motion all-wheel drive, and that has a 21-inch wheel. Nice 8-pillar quarter light, gloss black, indicator, retractable, and you can see what we didn't get on the standard wheelbase is we have a window that I'll show you inside then as well. Power doors, we'll get to that in a minute. And then on the black, it actually doesn't pop out as much, but on you can get them in 6 or 7 different colors. There's solid, there's metallic, and then there's also two-tone with a white top, which is real retro. You have the charging port in the rear right-hand side, so the opposite to a supercharger corner, 11 kilowatt on AC, up to 200 kilowatt on DC with this new bigger battery long wheelbase. The standard wheelbase is about 170, 180, 10 to 80% in about 25, 26 minutes, so good, decent charging speed. It's an 86 kilowatt hour battery, 91 gross at the top. Then you've got your shark fin aerial. There, high level brake lamp, nice little spoiler detail, and again that aero sidewall here to break that air off. Good decent sized rain wiper, and again that coast to coast light bar that goes all the way across with this IQ light package. An absolutely massive VW logo, and then ID.Buzz. Power tail lift, and with the third row up you have over 300 litres, so you can see practical, and it has this nice kind of table setup. You can have some storage boxes that go in underneath. There is some storage in underneath that then as well. 12 volt shopping bag hooks. You can see the holder here for a tonneau cover, and you can, if you've got the top seats down, which I will knock down now in a second. I always laugh at these headrests on the back of the ID.Buzz. They remind me of the robots in Star Wars, the droids. Let me knock this down. These guys get down. And then, so it's a pull tab at the bottom hinge, and then there's a rope to hold it at the top. And so then you can see you've got flat to flat loading area. You can remove these seats then as well. They're very easy to remove. There's a little clip down here, and there's even a handle. Let me bring that camera down so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see it's kind of like a suitcase handle. And so you can take that out all together, and then we've got a 60/40 3-bench seat here. I'm going to leave this one up so you can see what it's like when I'm sitting inside it with that headrest. But for a 3-row, I still think you get a decent sized boot. Now, some people may not want these seats, and the fact that you can take them out, it's an absolutely massive storage area, cargo area in it. So with this 3rd row up, you're talking around 300 litres, and then with the 3rd row down, it's 1,200 litres roughly, and then with the 2nd row down, it's over 2,000 litres, so absolutely huge. It can tow. On the GTX, it can tow up to 1,800 kgs. On the rear-wheel drive braked, it's 1,000 kgs. So if you do a lot of towing, just remember that, the different towing sides of things. And this one has vehicle to load with an output with an adapter of 3 kilowatt. Also has plug and charge ISO 15118, which means if this charging network supports it, it will pick up the vehicle and it will just plug and charge. Part of that Charon organization that I'm a member of. We'll do 3rd row first. So you can do a couple of different things. You can make it flat by dropping this down, and the whole seat and the seat bench you can see lowering down there, and you can lock that into flat. Now, and you can use that, but it's not the easiest access in. What you can do is the top lever, pull that, the whole thing tilts forward, and then it also slides forward. You can see the sliding down the bottom, and that just gives me easier access to get in then. Now, I can close it down. Look at the legroom here. I'm 6'2", 188 centimetres. Met somebody in Cork yesterday, Declan, if you're watching this. He goes, how are you, Mr. 188 centimetres? Headroom, about 2-3 centimetres. I'm hitting headrest before I'm hitting ceiling. You also have the ability of sliding these seats forward. Now, these seats are a bit flatter than the centre bench. They are more of a foldable. And then, but the fact that if you don't need that extra legroom and you want extra boot space, you have the ability of, down here, pull this lever, and that can slide a good bit forward actually. Even at its full extent, my knees are just touching, but it gives you way more space than in the boot if you want it. In the rear then, you've got a 3rd row vent, which we didn't get in the standard. We didn't get any vents in the back or windows in the back of the standard wheelbase. We've got some storage down here at the window. Nice to have some light coming in. USB Type-C, there. Cup holder, and then the holder for the tonneau cover if you do want to put something across the top of your load bay. Some soft armrests. Put the seat back. A bottle holder down here. And a nice touch up here on the back of the D-pillar is somewhere to hold onto these seat belts to keep it nice and quiet when it's back. This one is the darker interior. You can get a light interior, and then you can get a light interior with a couple of different coloured inserts. Lights over the centre, touch sensitive. Yeah, good. And then to get out as a passenger, you just lift this guy up here. The whole thing moves forward. I can push it forward then as well. So into the 2nd row then, which is a 3-bench. In the rear, you also have 2 Isofix, one either side. And then in this middle row, you have 2 Isofix, so that's 4, and then the front row you have on the passenger side a 5th Isofix, so you can have 5 child seats within the ID.Buzz cargo. Nice little Easter egg down here at the Buzz. This is the parcel shelf holder, you can see that, and you can also see the fact that you can slide that back and forward, so you can see how far, if you do need extra leg space in the rear, so there's lots of versatility within it. Now, no centre armrest in this centre seat, but you do have, let's look at this legroom. Massive. device holder. You have your picnic table on the 2 outer seats, a magazine or map holder, and then the top tether for the passenger front seat. In the door, you close it like this on the power version. Little holder, cup. This is your grab handle to get in and get out. Your little coat hook then as well. And vents up here, but then you also have the actual aircon options in row 2, which light up here. Window is down here, and it's an electric, ironically. I might have turned it off, but it's a slider. It pops it out and slides it back. I'll open it when I'm up in the front. Harman Kardon sound system. It's a 12.1. You've got USB Type-C back here as well. Nice little device holder. Lots of storage down here in the 3rd row. Some padded. And this one has that panoramic sunroof, nearly 2 meters, which you can frost and defrost electronically that we would have seen on the ID.7. Super space, absolutely massive. 2nd row, sorry, like 12 centimeters, like huge. The most practical utilization of space. You have other options in the electric vehicle 7-seater market. You've got the Ioniq 9, which we're yet to get on the channel and yet really to get a drive of. We've had the EV9 from Kia a couple of times, coast to coast, full review, full drive. So if you're interested in that, and then you've got the Volvo EX90, which was at the global launch in Los Angeles last year. I'm going to be getting on the channel again soon. So the 7-seater all electric, and you also have the Mercedes-Benz EQB for that smaller SUV shape. This is probably the most cavernous because it is a car-derived van-derived car, because it's just based on that commercial Volkswagen side of the business, based on that MEB platform, but it's Volkswagen Commercial that market this, talk about this in their van centres, because you need to obviously a specific van centre to be able to service it, etc. But it has all the features. It's an ID range, so it's the same MEB longer platform as the ID.4 and other Volkswagen Group platforms. So popping out, pop your door. There also is a pull release up here then as well. And then into the front. And you can control these doors from the front, and I'll show you that now in a second. In we go, out of the wind. So if I want to close them, or even lock them, you can lock both of them, and you can also close it from here, and then it starts to close over. There is a sensor on it so that passengers don't get out if there's traffic passing over. You can see that light up there now, so it's on eco mode. So it shows you that there is some digitization in it. I was going to show you the rear window. So we have the rear selector, and then if I press down, even though it's it's not a down, it's a back motion. That's that window opening there. So it can be controlled by a passenger, or it can also be controlled by driver. And close it there. It's a nice solution to it in that van side of things. That's the sunroof frosted, and then you can unfrost it. Electrochromatic. This one has the gloss black, which I probably wouldn't be a fan of. There is a lovely light with a kind of wood effect. Lots of storage everywhere. So you've got this rubberized shelf in front of the passenger. You've got this great big size glove box. We're increased slightly to a 12.9-inch screen that we would have seen on the ID.7. Bottom stripe now is illuminated. Still a slider system, but you have dual climate control. You have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay booked in, or wireless or wired. Wireless charging pad down here. It kind of slots into it with 2 USB Type-Cs. Cup holders. Your vents. This one has the head-up display. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yes, you can. Driver display. These glass black haptic. I haven't mistouched it all. I haven't touched it. Sometimes the side buttons, depending on how you're holding the steering wheel, you may turn on or off the heated steering wheel, but it hasn't happened to me all week, and I've done a lot of driving in it. Left hand side is lights, indicators and wipers. Right hand side is your mode selector, your drive, reverse, neutral, and your second stage regenerative braking. Park button at the end. These are your lighting controls here. Turn it on auto and forget about it. And you have your play and pause silver brake and accelerator pedals. That steering wheel has reach and rake. In, out, up, down. So great driver position. On the door you have the ability to child lock the rear, central lock, change your Side mirrors, retract them, heat them, and then select between front and rear. The ability to open the power tail lift, more storage, yeah, lots. We have the Buzz box in the middle, so this is like a portable. In the rear it's a tray for storing stuff, and then at the front it's a pop-out angle storage, but there's lots of space on the top of it. You have the smoker pack in this one for whatever reason, but not that we'd be condoning that. And then within this you've got dividers within that, and the front one is, or the rear one, is a bottle opener that just slides down into these grooves. If I can do it on camera. Let's get rid of the smoker pack to make it a small bit easier, and then line ourselves up better. And then the rear is a plastic ice scraper, so they can be adjusted depending on what you're trying to stop rolling around in here. Fiddly to get back, but we got it. Headroom. I need to pause what's coming on the radio there. Loads, like as I mentioned, probably 10-12 centimeters. What other notes have I got on the ID.Buzz long wheelbase? 7-seater in Ireland, 6-seater in some other markets. Right, let's start at the top. Disc brakes on the front and drum brakes on the rear, like all the MEB platform. It's nearly 5 meters long, about 2 meters wide, 2 meters high. So a large block. 86 kilowatt hour battery. Apologies, I think I might have said 83. WLTP range, they're saying 460, and when we're out for the drive, I'll talk about my drive to Cork on the motorway and what we got with that. It has travel assist, swarm data, park assist, memory function, car to X hazard in the vicinity kind of stuff. It's got the latest software on the infotainment screen, which is good. 0 to 100 is around the 10 seconds, so it wouldn't be just on this version. The GTX is all-wheel drive and a much more horsepower. It has e-routing software. It's McPherson's suspension in the front with spring dampeners, and then multi-link in the rear. It's slightly narrower in the front. Sorry, it's 3mm wider in the front, slightly narrower in the rear, with narrower tyres just to help with aero efficiency, etc. The 3 trims that we get in Ireland are Lifestyle and GTX 4Motion. It's got a 11.8 metre turn and circle. Prices in Ireland starting at around €68,000 for the Life. In the UK it's around about £60,000. Style then jumps out up to 75,000 euros, and then for the GTX 4Motion is 85,000. Now there isn't a lot of extras to have on that. They're still charging for heat pumps. There's the tow package. There is the lighting, style package, where you get LED matrix lights, but it's fairly well kitted out. It's a 210 kilowatt electric motor on the rear on this one, with 286 PS and 560 Newton meter torque. So a big jump up on the original ID.Buzz, nearly double the torque. So that is the inside and the outside of the long wheelbase 7-seater ID.Buzz. We're going to set up the cameras now and take it out for a drive. What's it like driving the ID.Buzz long wheelbase specifically? Yeah, I love driving vans, and as you know, if you've watched this channel, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There's a big electric van playlist on this channel as well. I was a van driver for over 10 years. I did nearly 500,000 kilometers in it. And so it's the seating position, the visibility. It's a large minivan, as I said, 2.7 ton, nearly 5 meters long. But the suspension is actually set up well. You can feel the bumps and lumps on the road, but it is, yeah, it's nice. Starting off with visibility, those side panels in the A-pillar really means that you get to see, there's very little blind spots. Now, the dash is huge, and then it's a sheer drop, so the front of the the front of the ID.Buzz is right at the end of the dash. So I've had no issue parking it. It is long, so it is long, it's very long for standard parking bays. So you will be sticking either your nose out or your rear end out. Brakes are nicely blended between regen and actual brakes. You can't feel the transition, and it has 2-stage. So around urban areas, I always like to stick it into B mode. Doesn't do one pedal driving, but it does have automatic or does have auto hold handbrake, which if I could have all three, regen braking, multiple levels, which just only has the one level. This has auto hold handbrake. It doesn't have one pedal drive, so one pedal drive is the dream. And the Koreans do that very well with different levels. Now, seating position is lovely. These seats are nice. The third row is a small bit more compact and flat, so the cushioning wouldn't be as good on them. You also have heated 3-stage and steering wheel on this trim. On the standard ID.Buzz, there was a second armrest, but we're only getting a single armrest. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case on the GTX, but we do have a padded. So as I've been driving, as I mentioned, I've gone from Dublin to Cork and back up again. We had our Nevo driving experience in Cork yesterday. So it's a good rundown, and it's pretty much motorway all the way. And so efficiencies down, I did about 100 kilometers an hour, and I was getting around about 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And so that gave me a real world range of around 390. And then on the way up, I pushed it a bit harder, 110, 115, and that brought the efficiency up to 25 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So that brought the efficiency, or the range, the actual range, down to about 350. So in cold weather, you're going to be at the 330, 320, because it was around 9 degrees yesterday. But then around town, I was getting 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. I'm jumping onto the screen here with all the miles equivalents for my UK viewers and US viewers. And that was giving me 18 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So it is doing better than the WLTP figure of the 470. And so, yeah, I was impressed with that. It got me all the way to Cork. I didn't have to stop, charge when I was down there, and I got all the way back up again. So just mind the speed on the motorways in such a large electric vehicle. It's heavy as well too, not very aero. So you're losing out with gaining all the space. Steering wheel is nice, flat bottomed, nice and big, with those buttons on it. Those haptic buttons haven't been an issue to me. I think we've gotten over it. I think people who buy Volkswagens ID specifically, current generations, like it's the best-selling electric vehicle in Ireland, the ID.4, and it has this steering wheel. So as much as motoring journalists and reviewers cry about it, people who live with it just get on with it. So that's efficiency, that's the seating. We talked about the brakes, we talked about the visibility. We've got the adaptive cruise control, which was very good as well. Set it and forget it. Lane keep decent. Wouldn't be the most advanced, but it's not claiming to be that as well. I'm going to go up on the motorway here at 120 just to let you know what the sound is like. Again, I had no issues with it yesterday, or going down on 2 days ago, or coming back up again yesterday. Small bit of road noise with regards to wheels. It's windy today, hence why I wasn't able to do the tripod standing this morning. I've had too many times that camera has fallen over because of wind. Blind spot built into the side of the door mirrors. Windscreen is actually heated as well. You can see the elements very faintly in the windscreen, so great to have that. And the fact that you can precondition via the app. The battery can now also be preconditioned, so as I was getting towards my chargers, not utilizing the inbuilt satellite navigation, I was using Android Auto. I was able to go into the dash, and it actually will show you, so you go to EV charging or charging, go to optimize, and it'll tell you with the temperature outside and how long you've been running the battery, the rapid charging capability maximum is 81 at the moment. Hopefully this camera picks it up, but 81 it's saying, but I can start battery charging and I can optimize that up to its maximum because of the state of charge. It'll depend on how fast it can take that charge. So that 200 kilowatt DC is peak, and then that charging curve will bring it back down again. Bit of road noise, small bit of wind noise, is that it's about as aerodynamic as a fridge. But great to have that long wheelbase, great to have another 7-seat electric vehicle option in the marketplace, great to have multiple ISOFIX launch in the place. So we've got 5 in this. I think this is the car with the most. I don't think the EV9 has a 5 option. Now you can go up to the van Stellantis stuff. So we've got Matthew, a friend of mine down in Limerick. He has the Citroen Space Tour, small battery, God love him, but he does that Limerick to Donegal journey on a regular basis. He has an article up on the Irish EV Association website. So that is the review and drive of the long wheelbase 7-seater ID.Buzz. Looking forward to the GTX version. I think it'll be coming on the press fleet for those who want 4Motion, that those want a bit more performance. Not that this is lacking in any way in performance with that nearly 600 Newton meters of torque. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching.